Hello, I am Erlinda. Today in my demonstration speech I am going to introduce the topic about Albanian traditional pie, and I have all the ingredients on my table. Some of the ingredients that I have for this pie are cheese, or white cheese I can say. It's a butter, it's a dough. I prepared the flour mixed with water, and I put little salt inside. I left that dough for around 30 minutes to in the place, and after I cut in a small piece, and I am going to open the dough to make that dough for pie. Now I'm going to turn the camera in my ingredients that I have already next to me, and some of the ingredients are, as you can see here, is a dough that I did prepare before, because if I would prepare now it's going to take too long, and that's why I did prepare earlier. Here it's the cheese, and I mix with egg cheese, and this cheese is, I usually prefer like a cheese that is goat cheese or sheep cheese, and I buy like a bio stuff. This is cheese bite from the farm, and here is the optional aroma that you can put for this pie. It can be mint, it can be dill, or any other kind of aroma that can smell nice on the pie. Also, I have butter. Butter is like a natural butter. As I told, I prefer bio stuff. It's bite in a farm. I just melt the butter in a gas, and this is the butter that I have it. Like it's melted over here, and this is the 2 pieces of dough that I'm going to open with roller. And here is the pan where I'm going to put all the dough when it's done. Now I'm gonna start from the process. I'm just gonna turn the camera next to that side, and you can see while I'm opening the dough. This is traditional Albanian food, and usually my mom is doing that at home, because for my family I prefer homemade food instead of buying ready food. But since I just discussed about this thing, I can say that this kind of pie you can find even in the store, ready on the store. It's, and some places where you can find this on the bus market is Netcost store. This is kind of Russian stores, but you can find there. And this food is prepared most often from, and now I'm trying to open with my hands more. This food usually my grandma is doing when I was little. It's kind of tradition. It goes next to other generations. My mom was doing too, either when I was in Albania. Now I'm still here, but I'm cooking traditional food. Even I'm trying to mix the culture to use some from American food, but I'm still not taking off my hands from the traditional food. And now, as you can see, I did open this dough on a big shape of circle, and now I'm going to put all the ingredients, that is the cheese that I make in small crumbs. This cheese that you see on the spoon is cheese mixed with egg. I make the small crumbs, this cheese, and I'm all going to open on this dough. And after that, you can see that it's kind of little, turning into little, in small kind of yellow color, because this egg inside here that I have mixed one egg with a cheese, with white cheese or traditional cheese that I prefer to use. You can use different kind of cheese like goat cheese, cow cheese, or sheep cheese, but should be white cheese, this kind of cheese that you can make small crumbs and turn into that. Now what I'm gonna do is like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that is optional thing that you can pick and put there is aroma, and it can smell nice when it's ready for eating. You can put the aroma over here. This is mint aroma. This mint I planted in my home because as I told, I prefer like fresh stuff. Now I make a roll it like a rope. I turn it to rope. I just can a little bit open more, make it more opened, and I'm going to turn into this pan where you can see I'm going to turn around and around, like make kind of spiral inside over here. Yes, here you can see. I'm going to prepare the second dough and open into the big circle. This is the most popular food in Albania that is going generation by generation from grandmas to moms and up to me. And I'm trying to learn to teach my daughter either how to open the dough when I'm doing this food at home. I prefer to use this food often, at least once a week, because it's so healthy. It's healthy and tasty. It has dairy stuff inside this pie, but this pie, as I told you, can have optional things that you can choose. Like today I'm just introducing the pie with white cheese or sheep cheese, but you can have other options. You can make this pie with meat. You can make this pie with vegetables. You can mix vegetables inside this pie. You can make this pie with potatoes. Like, have many things to how you can make this pie. What ingredients you can put inside this pie. I'm just making this kind of dough because it takes more short to introduce to you guys, but you can have, when you have more time, I can, like, as you see, I can do 2 pieces of dough in the, like, in my daytime when I have to do this pie. I'm just using 10 or 12 pieces of dough, and I'm opening for my family. And this dough, I don't want to skip this information. If you see over here that I have all this material, I have just used, as more thin you make this one, it's more better because it's more tasty when you bake. All this material that I have used for this Albanian pie, traditional Albanian pie, is I use 500 gram flour. I have used a little bit salt for the dough. I've used a piece of cheese, I can say 200 gram cheese. I've used 50 gram oil. You can pick, and this for oil is optional, you can pick olive oil or sunflower oil. And of course, at the end, when we finish all this dough, I have just prepared, as I told you here, butter, melted butter. I can put at the end of the pie on the top, because butter make this pie more softer when it's going to bake, and it smells nice and it's more tasty with when you put butter. Now I'm going to put the mint on the top for smelling nice aroma. And now you can hold this to the side things of the dough, and I'm gonna rolling up to the end. But I can tell you, you can make more longer. This depends on the size of your pan. I have picked today the small pan, as you see, but if you pick another big pan, you can make more longer this rope of dough, turning into the rope. So you can make more longer. Now I have to put over here. If you see that I am not using meters, I'm sorry, gloves, but I have washed my hands before I start to do this process, and everything is clean and nice. And as you see over here, that all this part is going around as a spiral shape. It's going to be filled in all around the pan, but since it takes too much time, I'm just going to leave it as is like that, and you can fill in all around the same. You can probably needs 2 more pieces of dough to finish all this area to be done, but I'm gonna leave as is like that, and I'm gonna put on the top some butter. Here is some butter, melted butter, and it's kind of warm right now. It's not getting freeze yet. I'm gonna put on the top of the dough. We put some around. And now you can see the dough is ready for baked. And later, after bake, we have to cut in the small piece. Sorry guys, the piece that you see over here is the main part that is stuck there. But this is the Albanian traditional pie that I have prepared for you today. This is a healthy food. Has lots of healthy ingredients there, and we use more often in Albania, or either more in other countries, or most often you can find in some countries that is close to us, like Greece, Italy, or some other countries. But this is very tasty and very healthy food. I really suggest you to try to use this food at home. Thank you for watching me.